Hi, this is Jeff from Airstream Nerds. And I don't know about the rest of you, but we don't use our tow vehicle very often except to tow the Airstream and to tool around town. And there's a lot of times where it sits right here in my driveway for weeks on end, not being used. And because of parasitic drain that most new vehicles have, I have relied on battery tenders to keep the battery charged. Now, the particular models that I'm using now are the C-Tech MXS 5.0. This thing's worked great. I've had it hooked up to my truck for, I don't know, probably a year. Have had no issues with it. My truck starts every time. When you get back, I'm going to show you how I hook this up. And I've come up with a few modifications to make a good product even better. And I'm going to show you that too.
Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, we are the Airstream Nerds. Yeah!
The way it normally hooks up is I have an extension cord going through one of the old holes in the battery box. I have the C-Tech plugged in there. I have the C-Tech cable coming out of the same hole. It is plugged into this other cable, so those two ends are plugged in together, and then this end plugs into the truck. Now I had a lead that looks like this. You know, I think these are just called SAE style. I don't remember what they're called, but it's the kind of plug you most see. And this was connected to my battery, and it was tucked in right here and tied to the one of the tow hooks there. So I just flipped it back out. I connected that up to it. I plugged the power into the C-Tech, and we were all good. My search started off looking for something that I could stick on the outside in order to just plug it in without having to go through this hole all the time. If you've watched some of my videos, I like things nice and neat and clean, and I like the idea of not having to go into this thing all the time, just plugging it in. So I searched online, couldn't find anything that I wanted, and I came across this magnetic connection thing. So the first thing that I found, which was super easy, was by NOCO, and it is the GCP1. And all it is a pass-through power cord. It allows you to drill a hole and then put something like this on the outside, and then you'd have just a regular plug on the inside to plug your extension and your device in. So it would be nice and clean on the outside. That's all you'd see. I get home and I open this up and I plug my extension cord into it, and I'm plugged in. That part, like I said, was super simple. For the life of me, I could not find something super simple for the C-Tech style plugs. I even was looking for something that could be modified. But what I did find online are these. Now these are little spring-loaded doors, and they are magnetic. So you essentially drill a hole. Now the back of these is threaded. So you drill a hole in the metal this big, and you tighten this down, and you have a magnetic connection point on the front. So what I couldn't find easily and cheap were these. I saw them online all over the place, but they were 90 bucks a pair, and I needed 2 pairs. And I wasn't prepared to pay for 2 of these from some, and it was international, so it would take 8 years to get them, and God knows how much shipping was going to cost, but I didn't want to do that. But during my search, I found this this company, healthsport.com. Now I reached out to them because they were showing a setup. Now that website does custom like Lotus car stuff. So I'm like, well, it's not a Lotus, but it is what I'm looking for. So I reached out to the guy, I emailed them, and I got an email back from Sherman. And I explained to him what I was trying to do. He drew up this nice little sketch, sent it to me and said, hey, is this what you're trying to do? And I'm like, exactly what I'm trying to do. He said, no problem, I can hook you up. He gave me a price. It was between $200 and $300. It's kind of expensive. So I got this piece here, which is the cover. It's already hooked up. It's nice, wrapped in the color wire. He asked me what color I wanted, so I got blue to match my truck. It's got the C-Tech connector on it, even with a C-Tech cover. So this will go inside the battery. So this will be on the outside. Unfortunately, this is a little bit smaller, or a little bit too small for the existing holes, so I'm going to have to drill a new hole. Then he asked me how long a cable he wanted to make. So I told him, I don't know, 12 feet, 15 feet. And he gave me, again, the connector with rubber boots, with nice snakeskin type wire wrap on both ends. When you hook them up, it's a nice satisfying click. And I've already hooked this thing up to my truck. And you can see it's down here. All I really need to do is flip that up and it connects. Now I can hook the other end up, and I do not have the whole thing finished, but now I can hook this end up to this one. Again, you can hear a nice click. Okay, after having my C-Tech hooked up with the magnetic connectors for a couple of months, I have decided to drop back and punt and do it a different way. I initially was going to put it into the battery box of my trailer, but I think after a bit of use, like I said, I have a little bit of water that gets in there from time to time. I don't want all this stuff sitting where it can get wet. These things aren't made for indoor outdoor. So I bought a box. So this is the same type of box that I have a couple of things installed on my house. Only this time I've got a clear lid so I can easily look and see the lights if everything's going good. I'm going to take the NOCO plug, put it in here. I'm going to put the magnetic power piece that I got from Healthsport. I'm going to also put that into one of the sides. This box is watertight. Now, the only concern I have is heat buildup, but I did a little research and there are a lot of folks putting wireless access points and things like that in this particular box, and they don't have any issues. So I'm just going to monitor that for a while and make sure if it gets too hot, then I'll figure out a way to put a vent in here with some sort of protection, or I'm not sure, but I'll figure out something. I'll put the links to everything below. So let me go ahead and take everything apart and get it together. I'll be right back. I use stainless steel hardware. That is the NOCO plug. I'm gonna plug the extension cord into this. When not in use, a nice waterproof stopper. I've attached the C-Tech. I've wire tied it to the screw down tray. I've done the best that you really can with doing the wiring. I've got the C-Tech plugged in. I've got the magnetic connector here, power cord here. And I've got the magnetic connector there. I did it at an angle because it was too close to the ground there, and I didn't want it to be a lot less rough over time on the plug to have it like that. And I've also used some stainless steel screws, and I've put some rubber feet on the bottom so it just doesn't slide down and wear it out. Rubber feet might not be the best idea because they'll probably grip too much and will end up getting pulled off, but I got a whole bunch of them, so if they do, I'll fix it at that point. All right, we have a clear top like I said, so I can see what's going on inside. Let me go get it hooked up. Once again, this is Jeff.
And Jenny.
And we're the Airstream Nerds. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, put any comments below, and we'll see you on the next trip.